Hi there. We are back in Colorado, and we are filming an episode today at the beautiful Kiger, with a K, pond by my hometown in Windsor. Got aspens behind me here, and the mountains are behind in the sun. You couldn't see them. Had to film it this way. We're talking today about getting delivered from some pretty bad habits I had. How it started was, I was listening to the Lord, and I was doing things on and off that He wanted me to do. And meaning on and off, meaning I didn't always hear Him clearly. And the ones I did hear clearly, I went ahead and did what He asked me to do. But there got to be a time where, I don't know, it was kind of like the Lord went on vacation, and I didn't hear from Him. And I wondered what was happening. And so that went on for a week or two. And so I prayed one night. I'm like, Lord, is there something I'm doing that is preventing me from hearing You? Because I really miss our talks at night. And I heard immediately Him say, yes, your tobacco use is clouding being able to hear me. And I'm like, oh no, not the tobacco. Because I had tried to quit tobacco. I had been chewing tobacco and smoking for years and years and years. And I have tried to quit a dozen times. And I just gave up on trying to quit. And He said to me, your tobacco use is not only blinding you, but it's impacting your ability to hear me. And I'm like, oh Lord, how do I change this? How do I do this? And He said, you have to do it my way. I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm going to do it your way, even though I really didn't want to quit. But I kind of wanted to quit because I really missed hearing from Him. And I really feel like that was part of the problem that I was having. Was I really started enjoying hearing from Him more than the tobacco. So I guess I was primed for it. But anyway, I said, okay, Lord, tell me what to do. Everything went quiet. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Right at this time, I was in a place in my life where I started putting two to two together about coincidences, intention, surprises. I always used to say, I can't believe that happened. Well, now I don't say that anymore. But here's the thing. I started learning what coincidences were. So I didn't hear anything for a day. And I ended up at Costco, of all places, getting something for the house. And I'm looking for something, and right there on the shelf, never seen it there before, right there was these little tobacco patches. And it said, quit using tobacco, use these patches. And I'm like, I've heard of them before, but I think they're hokey. But is this the Lord helping me? So I went ahead and bought them. And I brought them home, and I read the instructions and everything, and it said, follow these instructions, and you should be off of the tobacco within 3 weeks, completely off. And I'm like, yeah, right. So I kept praying about it. I'm like, Lord, is this what I'm supposed to do? Didn't hear anything. And then I started using the patches, and I started cutting down the intake of the tobacco. Nicotine, I guess, is what it was. This was 25 years ago, so I'm having a hard time remembering that. But it cut you down. So then all you had was the physical need to smoke or to chew or something. I was always looking for my chew can in my pockets and stuff, making me crazy. And I had put away cigarettes first because the chew was like just mainlining the stuff, the nicotine. So I was using the patches, and then I was cutting them down, and pretty soon I got to a point to where I was getting close to being off of it. And I'm like, oh, I can't believe this. And as I was getting closer to being off of it, I started hearing the Lord more. And I'm like, oh, this is great. This is exactly what I needed. So, talk about challenges. So, right as I was getting off of the patches, and I was just trying to break the physical habit, not the chemical habit. I was just trying to break it. The grabbing for my can and missing it and all that. And by the way, those that use tobacco know that you feel that when you got to go do something, or you're playing sports, or maybe you just want to sit and rest. You want to have a cigarette, or you want to have chew. There's all different times that you associate having a chew or a cigarette. That is very comforting for you. Well, while I was quitting, I didn't feel like I had any of that comfort at all, except I could start hearing the Lord again. And that was worth the price of admission for me. So I got off of it, and I was going about 2 weeks. And I was off of it, and the physical habit was leaving me. And then you wouldn't believe what happened. My wife got in a really bad horse wreck. We had horses at the time, and she dumped one of the horses, or should I say the horse dumped her. And she ended up in the hospital, and we darn near lost her. And it was a bad one. And I don't know, I think my son or my daughter said, kind of a rough time to quit chewing, huh? And I knew that, and I thought, man, if I can get through this, helping Dana through the accident and helping the kids through it, if I can get through this without going back to chew, I think I got it licked. And guess what? I never looked back. And I continued to hear the Lord. And I have other stories about that tobacco use and about helping others. And guys, it's just a prayer. It's all it is. Lord, can you help me get rid of this in my life? I should have done that to begin with, but what do I know? I'm learning this stuff as I go. But I want to tell you something about how that was that story. But I want to tell you something about control. Remember I was telling you I had a problem with control? I still fight it on occasion, but here's one of the things that was shocking to me. So here I am in a church service or something. I can't remember exactly where I was, but I remember in kind of a daydream. I was praying, and I was in kind of a daydream. There was music playing behind me, so I kind of imagine it was like worship time in a church or something. And didn't plan to do this. The Lord came to me and said, I need you to follow me. And he's going like this to me in my vision. And he said, I need you to follow me. I'm like, really, Lord? And I said, okay, I'll be right there. And in this vision I was in this room, and I had all my stuff up on the walls. I had my coffee out. It was a very cool room. And this is in my vision. It was like a daydream. And he said, I need you to follow me. And I said, okay. So I finish up what I'm doing, and I come through the doorway, and I'm walking. We walk outside together, talking in this vision. And he said, do you love me, Trace? And I said, I do. And he said, and we stopped walking. We got to, it was like a countryside. And we stopped, and he said, I want you to turn around and see where you came from. And I turn around, and there's this huge castle I had walked out of. And it was real dungeony. It was real black and dark and kind of gross on the outside, and had a moat around it. And which was interesting because we just got back from Scotland, and I saw one of those that I felt like that was the castle in my vision. But that's another story. It's pretty cool. But anyway, he said, that's where you've been living. And it's not free. And I'm like, oh, and it hit me like a freight train that I had so much control. I needed so much control. I had so much fear that I had created this castle I was living in. And I didn't know it. I was just living in it. So, I felt like I had stepped out of my life with Christ, turned around and looked, and it kind of scared me a bit. And he said, you're welcome to go back to your castle, but I think we need to stick together on this. Something like that. And I'm like, Lord, help me stay out of my castle. I don't want to go back anymore. I want to be free with you. I want to be out here. And I think this is why I'm filming these in places that are very peaceful for me, and they're not in a dark, inside dark place, because I really feel like he cut me free from my need to control everything around me, and he cut me free that day. And it wasn't easy, and it was a little scary. I have to admit, it was a little scary. And quickly, I want to tell you about something else that he delivered me from. This was a really big one in my life, and I didn't know it. I didn't know I needed delivering. So I was working out pretty hard. This is 20 years ago, and maybe 15, and lifting weights and all that, doing pre-workout formula and drinking coffee most of the day. And anyway, I was getting really edgy, and I was getting a testosterone boost from working out, and I really enjoyed being strong, and I enjoyed the workouts. But I started getting real testy with the kids and with Dana, and we had just got back together. We'd only been back together like 3 years, and I was getting edgy, real. I wasn't at peace at all. I was full of, I was kind of ragey a little bit from all the anger and stuff. Well, what happened is the people around me told me of my behaviors, and it wasn't good. And I knew I needed to do something about it. And I asked the Lord to help me with controlling my caffeine intake. Well, I started looking at the pre-workout formulas, and I was doing something like 700 milligrams of caffeine. So I was really ODing on it. And Dana helped me with that. And she helped me come down off of the caffeine and help me control that. And then I went cold. After I went all the way down, I went off of caffeine, and I went off it for 2 years. Because I know it takes a long time to get out of your system, but you get caffeine by mistake at different places. But I prayed about that, and the Lord directed me to Dana to help me with that. And we were working together on different things. But what a blessing, right? I got off of it. And I went back on it like 3 years later, just a little bit in the morning, and I control myself very much on the caffeine. I don't have anything afternoon, but I have a cup of coffee in the morning, and I've licked it. I feel pretty good about it. I sleep well at night. But those are three big things: control, nicotine, and caffeine, that were really impacting my life and the people around me. And I really needed to get to the bottom of it. But guys, if you just pray about it, and if you let me know, I'll pray for you to help you get through this. It worked for me. But the next video, I want to talk to you about the visions that I started getting. This is probably 6 years after Trail Ridge, and I started getting visions and stuff, and I'm like, Lord, what are these? I would see things that were happening, that would happen, and then they would happen. It was a little freaky. But I'd always, even since I was a little kid, I used to know, I would know something that was going to happen, and it happened, but I never told anybody. But now it was happening in a big way, and I didn't understand it. But hey, let's talk about that in the next episode. I want to hold it right to 15. That's what I'm doing. Hey, thanks, guys, for joining me, and I hope you're enjoying these as much as I am. Thank you.